And we're live. All right. Got the old 80s background, or I guess kind of 70s background, and the TV is out, and Matt is here. Old faithful number 3, as we call him. so, so that, yeah, for some reason, YouTube has implemented a leaderboard in the chat. So I guess they're encouraging people to spam the chat with their thoughts. Yeah, it looks very Twitch, the little crown and everything. It looks very, the graphics look like a video game stream. But so how's it going, Matt? Did you enjoy our discussion, our Daggerheart discussion yesterday?
It did. Like, it was actually really fun because, well, one, I had fun playing. So it was fun to kind of bring that stuff back up. But it was fun to hear people's different kind of ideas about the game and how the system works and everything, and hear what people's preferences are and stuff. That was fun. I sometimes can be old man yells at cloud when it comes to games, but it was nice because it kind of tempered that.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to hear a range of opinions and how, people like the digital tools and stuff. That was interesting to hear because it's really changing. I mean, just compared to 10 years ago, and even thinking about like what Wizards of the Coast tried to do with like even a web page for D&D, like 4th edition, like it was already 2000 when they were, trying to do web pages, and they were barely functional. And then they, of course, bought their way into D&D Beyond, so they have a decent platform. And then that's what basically the nexus for Daggerheart is. So yeah, it's amazing, and unfortunately, we have Alchemy's coming. It's doing okay, but we don't have like a premier VTT. Something that's like, okay, I'm willing to pay a subscription for this. Alchemy's getting there, and the connectivity issues and stuff, and having to do separate hosting with Foundry is a little frustrating. Or else I would be much more in on Foundry, and they've done like a full version upgrade recently, so they're like version 13 for their software, and all of the because a lot of people are contributing free modules and different widgets and stuff. Of course, those aren't going to get updated anytime soon, so it's a slow rollout for compatibility. So it might be a little while before we go back to Foundry, unless we're going to play, one of the big packages that Free League or somebody has already updated. But yeah, so that's been a little bit. You kind of have to play with the previous version if you want to keep everything how it is. And I think if you've been playing with Foundry for a while, have all your favorite little dice rollers and everything all set up, this kind of, upturned your table, as they could say, for the group. And he said it. The titular word. So the yeah, that seems a little frustrating. Because if you've been established on that for a while and it's working well for you, and then to have a version upgrade that you just have to ignore. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But that was funny. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I don't think it's tough. Like whichever way we go, I feel like we're making compromises, right? Foundry seems to have a ton of support and flexibility, but you have these connectivity issues. Alchemy, we seem to have a lot of kind of inconsistent person-by-person connectivity issues.
That's true.
Which mostly plague Will for some reason, but the rest of us have experienced problems now and again. And then none of us really wants to use Roll20, but I think we all agree that the job they did on the character sheet and stuff and porting it over from Damage Plane was really good. It was like more satisfying and impressive than we expected. I think. Yeah,
and things ran pretty smooth. The only thing, I mean, I got mixed up between like showing you guys handouts and showing you guys art assets. Like I can't just show you art assets. So that's a little bit frustrating because maybe that's stuck in my head from Alchemy, because you can just drag something into the, the journal. You can just load something into the journal to show people. So switching between VTTs becomes confusing because that functionality you expect to be there behind a right click or something isn't there, especially on Roll20. Yeah.
Yeah, there are 3 different user interfaces. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah. And like Arturo said, we probably had very little trouble with Daggerheart because we didn't use Fog of War and things, all the lighting effects and stuff that can really perform wildly differently in everybody's system and make it hard, for people to see. And we were having those kind of troubles early on, especially when I didn't quite understand the permissions with Foundry. So we'd go to a scene, you guys are saying, I just see black. It's just a black screen. What are we looking at? Yeah. So, everything has their issues. Yeah. And nothing, it's interesting. Maybe there just isn't a big enough subscriber base, and probably Roll20 has most of that, to really, warrant somebody going in and doing really deep development to come up with a really good VTT. I mean, if Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro isn't willing to do it, then, I don't think anybody will. They just haven't figured out how to monetize it yet. And the thing I really resent with Roll20 is a lot of their good functionality, their scripting and API hooks and everything, is all behind another, like a highest level tier of subscription. So I think it's close to $30 or $40 a month, something ridiculous. But then you can build like really good custom. You have access to everything, so you can build really good custom apps and character sheets and everything in game. And people are posting a lot of script libraries and things for it that they've developed. But you don't have access to that unless you're paying them way too much money. So I don't know who exactly that's for. A professional GM / novice programmer, I guess. But yeah, we'll see. So tomorrow night is a holiday in the US, so we're not going to be doing an actual play. We're going to miss another Dragonbane session. But Matt and I were talking about doing a flip through of Mythic Bastionland. So Mythic Bastionland just showed up. And I added to that Electric Bastionland, the preceding book, and then I have from the previous crowdfunder, the Into the Odd, the kind of update that they did for Into the Odd. So we can take a look at those books. They're gorgeous hardcover books. Take a look at that progression, because I think it is kind of a design progression and thinking, because I remember reading a post by the designer that said, I thought everyone had moved to Electric Bastionland. I thought all of the fans of my game weren't playing Into the Odd anymore, and I found out they still were, and so that's why he decided to go back and do a refresh of the book, because he realized it was still quite popular. And then this new version, this kind of Noble Knights version of Bastionland will be fun to talk about and probably play. It'll be a good thing to put a group together for.
We'll talk about it tomorrow, but just looking at it, I was really kind of intrigued by it, because it has his style is very light indie improvisational narrative kind of thing, you know. Mm-hmm. But he combined it with like this really kind of high stakes hex crawl thing.
Oh, cool!
And I was like, wow. And it seems like he did a good job. Like, nice. Obviously, I haven't read the rules yet, but yeah, it looks cool.
Oh, nice. Oh, that sounds fun. Oh, yeah, and when I was reading, because I went back when we talked about Mousesorter and the Creative Commons SRD, I didn't know anything about the license. I went back to their website, and they do have a really generous license, gaming license. You just, you have to say that this is a third-party product, but they give you, logos and things to use for your band. It seems very similar to like the Morkborg or the other kind of really kind open licenses. And I guess the system for Mouse Sorter is based on Into the Odd, is inspired by Into the Odd. So yeah, that was good to see that they were smart enough to do a nice license. Because I thought if they were releasing their SRD Creative Commons, they would have to have some sort of license to to make that work together.
By the way, before we start, I should mention that Arturo is offering to run the new Coriolis Quick Start for us.
Oh, that would be fun. Yeah, Arturo, if you're up for it. Yeah, just let us know what your VTT of your favorite VTT or preference would be. And yeah, that would be fun, Arturo. That would be a really fun thing. I'd love to try that system.
I like Coriolis a lot.
Oh,
and well, it's a year zero system, so I automatically like it. But during the pandemic, my son, for the first time ever, GME ran Coriolis Adventure for us.
Oh, cool.
And he was super nervous, and he did a great job, and we all had a bunch of fun. And then he never did it again.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Yeah.
I guess he decided it wasn't really his bag, but it was good. And like it's year zero, so I like it, but it has this great the whole lore world theming of it is so unique, like for a sci-fi game. It's this sort of pseudo Arabic feel to everything, and it's really cool. And they're, in terms of rules, they made the ship combat so everyone can participate.
Oh, nice.
And that is so like cool. It's like, because I always question a sci-fi game. It's like, if it has ship combat, is everyone going to get to participate? So it's really cool.
Nice. Oh, cool. Yeah, I think we might take you up on that, Arturo. Yeah, it'd be cool to see, and it'd be interesting. I want to know like kind of what they decided to tweak, like what they upgraded for this. Like, I don't know if it's a new full version, but like a new edition. That's cool. Yeah. Babylon 5 meets Arabian Nights. That sounds very cool. Yeah,
especially the original setting. I think they are tweaking it with this new campaign that Arturo is talking about. But yeah, the original setting did have a strong kind of Beat Babylon 5 thing going on.
Oh, cool. Nice. Yeah. We should definitely do that. That would be a heck of a lot of fun. Nice. And we need something. Yeah, we need something to fill in. Our schedules are all random. That's cool. All right. Well, let's get started for this week. Yeah, good to see everybody in the chat. Hey, Rob's in the chat. Nice. I think it's going to be online, but I'm going to join in on the AD&D campaign that Rob's running for, I think we're doing Saltmarsh. We're going to do the...
so there's your secret to Saltmarsh?
Yes.
The best alliteration in D&D?
Yes, of course.
Hell yeah!
So that
first edition or second edition?
I think it's first. Yeah. It's all AD&D. Yeah.
That's my jam right there.
Nice. Well, I got to convince Rob to record it so you can hear how it goes. Nice.
Make sure you play a thief so you have rules that no one else has.
Right. Yeah. I was thinking of doing my first multi-class. I have my old. It's gonna key out because it's green. But I have my old D&D notebook here, and I was going back through the all the characters in it, and maybe I'll resurrect one of those old names, a half elf from 40 years ago. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. But good to see everybody. Arturo, Calerion, Miguel. Very cool. I like my invisible notebook. All right. So let's get started for this week. Welcome to the weekly. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Matt.
Hey, Matt.
Hello.
So this week on the weekly, so Chris isn't available. Meetings again. This is Japan, so meetings abound. The meetings, you have meetings for your meetings here usually, and so we're doing this remotely. And Matt was kind enough to fill in. So this week, AI wins. So we get a couple of court decisions, and the machines seem to be beating humanity at this point. Giantlands explodes. A little bit of a social media meltdown. Rebel Scum is removed, as it should be. We should remove all Rebel Scum. Yeah, I don't think DriveThru is going to have some growing pains, I think, as they become a bigger and bigger platform. And an RPG Megabundle. So if you're looking for a new RPG to play, this would be the bundle to basically be able to try everything you've ever heard anybody mention, like in the last, 5 years or so. All right, so let's get started with the AI cases. So yes, the war against the machines. We are losing in court. This isn't a total defeat, but these are two judgments that don't sound good. So Meta has their big blockbuster AI case where they have literally stolen. They've used torrents. They used torrents of works, of famous novels. They downloaded them illegally by torrent, and then they fed them into the training. They used them to train their AI. But in this case, where there are 13, and this isn't a class action, it's like specifically like 13 authors' books that have been brought into this case against Meta. The federal judge ruled that it did not violate the law. So how they obtained them hasn't been decided yet, but their use of these materials to train their AI did not violate the law. So this is a major copyright lawsuit victory for Meta. And there was the U.S. District Court Judge Vince Chabria said, he was quoted as saying, the court has no choice but to grant a summary judgment to Meta on the plaintiff's claim that the company violated copyright laws by training its models with their books. And he said, it wasn't happy about it, but the plaintiffs just did not present enough sufficient evidence to show. And then of course the other high profile case with Sarah Silverman and a journalist, Ta-Nehisi Coates. They sued Meta. So we're talking about the Kadri versus Meta case. It was the first case of its kind. There are dozens coming down the pipe. But the thing that they were talking about basically is, would Meta's use of their work hurt the authors financially? And they were saying, so the judge was saying, the key question is virtually any case where a defendant has copied someone's original work without permission is whether allowing people to engage in that sort of conduct would substantially diminish the market for the original. And so that's not great. So Meta is doing okay. They still haven't, how they obtained these works still hasn't been brought into court or questioned, but I think that's going to probably be the next step. The other case, the second ruling, was a U.S. District Court, and this judge was William Alsep, and this was against Anthropic's use of copyright materials, again, to train their own AIs. It was found to be legal. So there is, again, in this decision as well. So it was a split decision. The AI company will still have to face the plaintiffs in court for pirating their books. So it's the same situation where they obtained illegally these books. They didn't even purchase the books. They didn't even buy the EPUBs or whatever. They just illegally downloaded the books or scraped them off of a illegal website and then brought them in. So the use of the pirated materials is a major issue that hasn't been decided. But what we're dealing with in this ruling is so people are accusing this judge of brushing aside the importance of market harm in this fair use ruling, and whether this work is actually transformative is still kind of up for debate. But market harm was the big issue, and there was and the original rights holder their financial damage. So a professor commenting on this said it's notable that the judge disregarded sharply but respectfully, this professor disagreed with the judge on his idea of market dilution. So this is talking about how these kinds of mechanisms, these trained AI, will be able to basically, flood a market with, generative junk. And so they're kind of ignoring that fact that and we've already seen that. We've already seen that on Amazon and other places where all of their ebooks now are heavily AI generated. So a quote from the I think this is the authors, or this is the judge in the first case. In many circumstances, it will be illegal to copy copyrighted works and to train generative AI models without permission, which means that companies, to avoid liability for copyright infringement, would generally need to pay copyright holders for their use of the material. So yeah, this judge agrees that this is how it should have been done, but is saying in this case that Meta is not breaking the law. So they're kind of saying two things at once. It's a little frustrating. So yeah, on the surface, it looks like AI has won. So the judge's recognition that training AI models is transformative is a little bit of a problem. And unfortunately, we have a horrible statement from Meta. Meta, after the case, said open source AI models are powering transformative innovations, productivity, and creativity for individuals and companies, and fair use of copyright materials is a vital legal framework for building this transformative technology. Yeah, so because they can't afford it any other way. So, of course, the plaintiffs said they were disappointed in this decision. The judge in the first case again wrote, in the grand scheme of things, the consequences of this ruling are limited. This is not a class action case, so the ruling only affects these 13 authors, not the countless others whose Meta's work was used to train its models. As it should now be clear, this ruling does not stand for the proposition that Meta's use of copyrighted materials to train its language models is lawful. Just in this situation, they didn't present enough information showing that judge that they broke the law. So yeah, we'll see. It's definitely not over, but it's not looking great. So two judgments that are kind of beginning the ball rolling, and as long as they get friendly judges that perhaps were supported by big tech or need to buy a new house, we'll see the AI companies. It's frustrating because they've already admitted that they cannot afford to license the content that they're feeding into these models to train their AIs, so that doesn't work. And now they're also coming, this harsh reality of the energy needed to run these data centers that power these AIs is something that the world can't afford either. There's like horrible stories now of like data centers stealing water from neighboring communities to actually cool these facilities. So it's going to be a fight for water, not drinking water, just cooling, just, water to cool these processors so you can ask OpenAI a question. So ChatGPT can be your best friend.
Hard with these stories to not drift into a diatribe about the current state of capitalism and oligarchs and things like that. It's really hard, but
yeah,
the problem, the part of this I don't understand, and I know it's a civil trial, so I'm sure that has something to do with it, but if you look at like Meta saying, no, this is fair use, we have to have access to this. It's kind of like if you put your money in a bank and then instead of just going in during regular banking hours to get it, you drove a bulldozer through the side of it in the middle of the night and took your money.
Right.
Like, it's your money, but what you just did is illegal. Driving the bulldozer through the bank.
Right.
So it's like, why isn't their method being taken into consideration?
Right. Yeah, in this case, that is very strange. And the other thing they're creating this weird legal contradiction that I think there's going to be a problem. There's going to be some kind of legal showdown in the future where they're saying that once things are in digital form, they're kind of up for grabs, and the accessibility and the way that they can be then fed into these models makes it necessary for there to be some sort of fair use of that material. But yet there's, every single platform is pushing us towards a digital subscription for something that has no value. Like they're trying to sell us digital goods, like physical goods are going away, and they're trying to sell us, digital books, digital music, digital movies. But these legal rulings are starting to say, yeah, once things are digital, they really don't have any value. Like you should be able to do whatever the hell you want with them. And so how are they expecting us to, they're kind of undermining this weird market that they're trying to create of so I guess it's all going to be about access, and that's the problem with digital things, is they're infinitely accessible. Like once somebody has accessed them, the whole world, can make infinite copies. So yeah, it's going to get really strange as I keep using these arguments to say, well, we have a right for some kind of use. Well, then there's going to have to be an argument eventually about your rights to use of any digital materials. I don't like that. I don't like the direction these things are going.
Yeah, because the flip side is, if you hacked into your Meta, what are they called, the VR goggles, mm-hmm. and were able to extract the complete operating system and software and put it up for free, mm-hmm. Meta would sue you into the ground.
Right. But it's just fair use. Everyone should be able to, take a look at, how the software works and perhaps, use it to build their own. Yeah, it's getting weird. Well, another strange thing, and this is more tabletop related, is we had I don't know, just some sort of psychotic break or something that happened with the founder of Wonderfilled, which has been spelled Wonderfiled on its own official website. Wonderfilled founder has a public meltdown on X, where all good public meltdowns happen, ranting about Trump supporters, game design, and race. So we're talking, of course, about Stephen E. Deinhardt IV. So when we were back in the day of talking about new TSR with Justin Lanassa and Ernie Gygax, he was one of the people involved. He was, I think, doing creatively. He was like their designer, or he was, putting stuff together for them for their attempt to, revive things. And yeah, he's a little bit, I guess once the Gygax family had a lot of money, they just could not stop attracting nutcases and con men and, all kinds of shysters. And this guy fits in pretty well. So he went on this political rant. And also, I guess it was a video. So he did there were a few tweets, text posts, whatever the hell they're called now on X. And, but he posted some videos as well, and basically ranting. They're trying to sell Giantlands. I guess he has the right to Giantlands, and James Ward has since passed. And Stephen Deinhardt is claiming that James Ward agreed with me 100% about everything I'm about to say, and the setting for Giantlands is in a future where the U.S. and white people don't exist. So of course. Nobody was happy. Yes. So he declared to the world that he declared on social media that the setting for Giantlands is in a time where the U.S. and white people don't exist. And of course, James Ward was all about this before he passed. Probably his dying words were, "I want Giantlands to be set in a time where white people don't exist." So he's going on about this, and he was ranting about Trumpsies, kind of a portmanteau of Trump and National Socialists, and was accusing the original TSR, publisher of D&D, of being a magnet for, racism and, nationalism and everything. So he claims that his origin, his personal heritage, is Hispanic and Native American, which has made him an endless target for hate during all of his work in RPGs. I think I'm not sure. I hope I'm not confusing him with another Stephen Deinhardt, but he's done a lot of work in the video game world. He's done a lot of like narrative work and things for a lot of PC games, including like Warhammer and things. So he's been involved with IPs that have had a lot of controversy, but he describes the fan base of TSR as those bigots that thought Giantlands and Wonderfilled were for them, when in effect it isn't. It isn't. So he's trying to, separate that this this game is not for you, even though it was created, by one of the original RPG creators. So it also claimed online, my business has been ruined for 2 years now. I don't think I've sold a single game, and that's all right. I don't want to sell to these people. So he's mad that he hasn't sold anything, but he's happy that he hasn't sold to racists, I guess. And so he said that, intentionally... so he claimed that it was intentionally created without white people because race is a myth, right? So, yeah, of course, race is a myth. It's a fabrication. So, yeah, why are you even concerning yourself with race? But then he goes on to say, because white people never existed, right? Color is an illusion. Race is a lie. That's why there's no races in Giantland. Okay, great, fine. But then he posted again on X, who knows what he was on, what he was doing, and he said, we'll breed you out of existence, referring to white people. We're not like you. We'll just eliminate your seed from this earth. So he does believe in race. I don't know. It's, in the games, maybe he doesn't believe in race, but in his personal life and his own racist rants, he does believe in race. So whatever. This is just nonsense. But I guess he's taken down, like, his accounts and everything have been all disabled, like all the social media for both Wonderfilled and his personal stuff. And this is stupid because this isn't his only work. Well, maybe it is. Maybe that's why this is getting so ugly for him, because he doesn't have any other work currently. But he's claiming that, he's been canceled by both sides of the internet and rejects the original TSR legacy as a, white boy fantasy. Is how he referred to it. So I don't know why suddenly he's gotten all racial and political about this. But I guess he's the one left holding the bag. He's the one left with the with the IP, with the license. I don't know how the business worked out, but he concluded by saying, "I don't need your business. You don't give me any business anyway." So I ask you to please find your own way and have a good day. So I don't think we're going to be seeing Giantlands anytime soon supported in any way.
Okay, that's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, that was yeah.
Because just for context, wasn't this guy working with the Ernie Gygax crew?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, he was on everything, on all their projects. He was like listed as their, like, I don't know, art director or designer or something. Yeah, he was among the new TSR.
Arturo just said in the chat, "Sir, this is a Wendy's." Oh my god! So apparently, all we can really discern from this is that the waters of Lake Geneva create crazy people.
Yes, perhaps it's the mercury. Yeah, perhaps they should be tested for mercury levels.
It's funny because, like, I bet if I just picked through everything you just read, I'd be like, oh yeah, see that one phrase? I agree with that one phrase, but you surrounded it with crazy.
Yeah, he just kept going. Yeah, it's not clear. So obviously, yeah, just very angry at the world. Yeah, because he went on to talk about, since his family is Native American, Hispanic in origin, we're immigrants. We're an immigrant family, but our family also, fought in George Washington's army. Like, okay, so we're not talking recent immigrants. We're talking Revolutionary War immigrants. I don't know. So he's full of interesting contradictions that should probably just make him quiet down.
That is like crazy uncle at Thanksgiving shit. That was like, what? Go sit in the other room, watch your stories, uncle. Like, what the hell?
Yes. very odd. So and that's a shame because like, that was part of James Ward's legacy that is now, had this done to it. So kind of like the Judges Guild, this reminds me a little bit of the kind of Judges Guild like nonsense. Like don't rant like this, related to some sort of product that you'd want to sell or maybe have somebody license, because now you've made it toxic and nobody wants to touch it. So yeah, very very interesting. But he did tell us to have a good day. So
those guys who were right at the beginning of the new TSR debacle, those guys that were like, "Oh, this is ridiculous," and fled and started their own company and did the top secret thing.
Yeah, right.
The smartest goddamn thing anyone's ever done.
Yeah,
because everyone else has stayed. It's like a Twilight Zone thing where like the longer you stay there, the crazier you get.
yeah. That's too bad. And yeah, I was reading through. I think it was N-World. They, of course, had their nice chronology of everything. And I guess the original, like, TSR2, they had the trouble because they were publishing the Gygax magazine, and then Gary's widow told them to stop. And yeah, so they had a bunch of like just difficulty. And then this nonsense happens. But so I guess that's the end. This is like definitely the end of all of this. We're not going to. There's no legacy. There's nothing left of new TSR, and I don't think anybody even wants to touch that brand anymore because it's gotten pretty. Rude.
I can tell you this: nobody playing Modern 5e or Daggerheart probably even knows who the hell these people are.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah. That's very true. They were brought in, a completely different way. They were brought in through the internet or computer RPG, fantasy RPG. So yeah, totally different customer base now.
Technically, you could have snuck in the "As the Gygax Turns" bumper on that.
Could have. That's true. Yeah, it would be the last. Yeah, it will be the last chance to use it. Probably. I don't think I have it set up at home. Oh no. But this would be where it goes, the end of the legacy. Yeah, so Ernie has passed, and so I guess Luke is the only surviving son, right? So,
and his sister seems like a real nice lady. I assume she won't go insane.
Well, we'll see. Social media is always there for you when you're feeling your looniest. All right, some more politics. All right, let's do this. So so now this, I guess it's Roll20 Inc. owns DriveThru and the Demiplane platform, which is kind of the everything but D&D Beyond, and DriveThruRPG. So DriveThruRPG, Roll20, and Demiplane are all owned by this Roll20 Inc. thing, and they have apolitical guidelines for submissions of tabletop games. So they have delisted Rebel Scum based on it violating these apolitical guidelines, which is really strange. I mean, maybe I'm looking at too much itch.io, but I still think there's a lot of not apolitical stuff on DriveThru. So it's strange that they kind of focused on this. But the game itself, even on the even in the text of the game, starts off with a warning. This game is political. So they're not hiding it. It's not something they're trying to sneak in there. So if you don't know, Rebel Scum is a kind of homage to Star Wars and the not quite 4.5-inch action figures. A lot of their the kind of graphic design and stuff looks like the packaging for old 70s toys. So Ninth Level Games is the publisher. And their love of 70s licensed merchandise and their hatred of fascism caused them to create Rebel Scum. And so just recently, and this isn't a recent game. This game's been around for a few years. It was delisted by Roll20 Inc. from DriveThruRPG. So it was released in late 2021. The first edition, it's first edition for 3 years. And then on August 8th of last year, the relations manager from Roll20 DriveThru, Meredith Gerber, contacted Ninth Level Games CEO and informed them that they've been getting reports from customers about the majority of the book has passed their products standards guidelines, but specifically the introduction, there was some things that need to be removed from Rebel Scum before they could be reinstated, and she attached a PNG to show them exactly what it is. So Rebel Scum is a polymorph powered game. And in the foreword of the game, the introduction, the foreword that they want released. So in the foreword, it states, punch a space Nazi right in their stupid jackbooting space Nazi face. And it clearly states that, Rebel Scum is not for people who believe in white power, vaccine deniers, bigots of all stripes, and crypto-fascists lurking in various fandoms, especially Star Wars. So they're very clear about their politics from the foreword. And and then on the next page of the book, it says, while intended to be hopeful and fun, it is shining a mirror back at the post-capitalist, post-truth, post-pandemic political idiocracy that we are currently living through. I have called the Republic with a K, the Republic with a K, so that we can say, I punched that Republican in the face. This is deliberate. And I have called the Game Master, the GM, the government, trademark, and the players, the next rebellion, trademark. Because there is nothing scarier or more real than the corporatization of our lives, our philosophy, our entertainment, and even our dreams. So after receiving this request to delete the foreword, 9th Level Games just decided they'd rather take the title down and not cooperate and just have the title taken down. So this was all written about on Rascal News. It was the first time that I had seen this. They wrote an article, being very critical of DriveThru for this, because I don't think if they were then to go back and examine all of the indie titles, I mean, a lot of the more recent titles are extremely political. So this is kind of odd. And I guess they're just responding to complaints. The reason that those other titles haven't been dealt with is there's no complaints. So somehow this game got in the crosshairs, probably of some grumpy Star Wars fans. And so there was an article written, and DriveThru wanted to respond because so they were pretty frustrated with the handling of Rebel Scum. And usually DriveThru says you normally reject and remove objectionable content. And they were saying a direct quote from a publisher that was banned in late 2022 is criticizing DriveThru, saying they are woke and as competent as fuck. So when people have had their stuff taken down, DriveThru has been called woke. And then, so basically what happens is the partner relationship, this is from a statement from DriveThru, their partner relationship team is always in contact with publishers, and once a few titles have come out from a publisher, they don't they feel that there's a level of competency. They don't need to scrutinize the titles as much, and but when they get reports of problematic content, they have to do it, and they specifically called this in the statement the least appealing part of their work. Because occasionally people will submit titles to our marketplace that break our content guidelines, sometimes promoting hate or real world violence. And I think that was the thing that they were talking about, not so much the politics, but the kind of call to violence, just them using the word punch. I guess so. The work was already reviewed, and so it's this is just based on the complaints. And so, they're saying the foreword broke the rules. So, and in their statement, they also say they acknowledge that Rebel Scum has been on their site since November 2021. And as of April of this year, of April of last year, they started receiving complaints. And then they took action in August of last year. And then there was also published a, let's see. And I think the thing that kind of also made DriveThru want to make some sort of statement about this and kind of give their side of the story is that then the makers of Rebel Scum started promoting it as banned by DriveThruRPG on the cover. So their advertising started to be, they started posting graphics advertising their new edition banned on DriveThru. So then this June 9th, then Rascal News reached out to DriveThru and did an interview where they kind of went blow by blow and asked them about their policy and about how all of this went down to get a little bit more information. Because this banned by DriveThruRPG was something that frustrated them a bit. So a couple of highlights from the interview. So the full text is on Rascal News, but a few things that they talked about is they're dealing with a tremendous amount of work, new work generated. So they say 450 new titles each week are posted on DriveThruRPG. They've been in business for 20 years. They're not perfect. Nothing is, but they work pretty well. And given the resources at their disposal, that's the one thing you do have to credit them. This is not machine review. Like, these were actually people reading complaints, then going to the work and, finding. So there is a human hand in this. It's not just searching for keywords and deleting things like other platforms that we may be on right now. But they also said, if we permit them, and this is the thing where it's hard to be on their side talking like this, but if we permit them to publish a game on our marketplace promoting violence against anyone who supports a political party they dislike, then in fairness, we would also have to allow games that openly promote hatred and violence against any other political groups or affiliations. That's a very slippery slope. So the slippery slope argument is always a little frustrating, but that's kind of where they came down. And it's just the book's foreword that they had the problem with. So and finally, the last thing that I noticed from this interview was they said that this title crossed the line in taking a satirical game and via the author's foreword, moving beyond satire into a real statement about hatred and violence towards the entirety of a broad political group. So that's how they're justifying what they did, because I think it wasn't done in satire. It was strictly saying we want an excuse to to role play this. So what do you think, Matt? What's your?
I think there's a real simple solve.
Mm-hmm.
Just allow them to have explicit warning labels on the book.
Mm-hmm.
Like they could even set up so when you click on the description, it's really blatantly a warning is there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could even gate certain content for 18 plus or something.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't want to do that work, and they don't want to be seen accused of bias. I guess. So I don't really have a lot of sympathy for DriveThru on this one. I think it's funny that what you often see when books get banned is it actually accelerates interest in them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I had never looked at the Rebel Scum book before this story. I'd heard of it in passing, but I immediately went and looked at it when I saw this story.
Right.
And it looks cool. It has all this cool action figure art for your character sheet or whatever.
Yeah. No, it's a really well done.
So I mean it's. I get they're taking the alleged high ground, but they could have fixed the problem. I don't think it would be that hard for DriveThru to just create some kind of age gate or warnings, labels.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's funny, being old, I remember when when they rolled out those parental advisory labels for albums.
Yeah.
And people were super angry, you're taking away my freedom or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. It's just, we're just adding a little bit of an advisory or warning or gate or whatever you want to call it. You can still purchase it. So they could have done something like that, and I think it probably all would have been fine, except for the 3 people that filed complaints. Because I read their response to all this was to publish all the questions Rascal asked them in their interview and their responses, which was a really interesting read too. And they don't really pursue anything on their own. It requires complaints from customers who verifiably have purchased a product. So it's all everything they do is just reactionary. So I think when you're set up that way, it'd be real easy to overreact and try to do like damage control, and instead of just having like a clean, more regulated system, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right.
And I know some people don't like regulation, but in this situation, I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and them basically being the largest digital marketplace for RPGs, yeah, it's difficult. They don't really have to, they're not going to give any strength. They're not going to benefit their smaller competitors much. I mean, people will always be able to get Rebel Scum on, itch.io or the company's website, the publisher's own website, but. It's a difficult thing, and it does seem like one of those things where a bunch of grumpy Star Wars fans saw this over political take for their Star Wars that they didn't like, and because it is, referencing Star Wars without a license and everything, I'm sure that's why it got the complaints. I'm sure that's the only thing that inspired it is somebody trying to gatekeep their favorite IP. In a weird way. And so just have to deal with this kind of nonsense. But I think you're right. They're going to have to start to, and they're real slow to upgrade things. I mean, the back end for DriveThruRPG has been the same thing for 20 years, and it's terrible. So it's not something they're going to get to real fast. I think they had a redesign of the website that was like slowly rolling out over the course of 5 years, and it's pretty unusable. It's not very good. So they still can switch back and forth between the old and new version. At least you could until a few years ago. But so we'll see what if this is. It's good that they're saying that it's verified purchases of the product and stuff, so that it can't just be some outside organized group to complain or to target all of the review bombing and things we see on Rotten Tomatoes and stuff for various causes. Like they should protect themselves from that. But yeah, just having a way to let a full range of what everybody is making be up there. But I guess they still have to have guidelines probably about sexually explicit or violent, particularly graphic violence or something as a publisher, as a publishing platform. But we'll see what happens. But they don't really have to listen to much of anybody. I don't think if you stop using DriveThru, there's not a lot of other options. That's the frustrating part about this is whatever they decide is
it's just going to have to up their game.
Yeah, definitely. All right. And finally, well, if you don't want to go through DriveThruRPG, you could get a gigantic bundle. A $1,200 worth of non-D&D RPGs is now available on Humble Bundle for just $40. So this is actually pretty insane. It's not like themed a particular way. It's just everything that's not D&D, and it's kind of all the latest hotness of what people are playing in tabletop. So from Call of Cthulhu to Dragonbane. And so that's 97% off of all of these games. So a good way to try a bunch, or at least to get a bunch of core books, if your group is looking for something new to try. So that's 57 titles for $40. That includes I'll go through the whole list, but yeah, the Root RPG, The Witcher, Deadlands, Be Like a Crow, Be Like a Cat, Vaesen, The Wild Sea, Slug Blaster, and Spire, The City Must Fall. Another political game, watch out, kids. But this is all going to benefit the Extra Life Children's Miracle Network hospitals. And and you can go down to as little as $15, and I think that's 19 items. And unfortunately, $15 is in those 19. That's mostly the things that I don't have, so I should probably go for the lower level here. But the complete list, all 57. So hang in there. But this is pretty impressive. Like anything that you've ever wanted to try. A lot of licensed IP stuff, but Avatar Legends, the role-playing game, Transformers, the role-playing game, core book, Modern Age, basic rule book, AGE, as in Modern AGE, Apocalypse World, second edition, Cyberpunk Red, core book, Deadlands, the Weird West, plus Suede, plus the whole Savage Worlds book. Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, the core book, Spire the City Must Fall, Punk is Dead, The Wild Sea, Dishonored, the role-playing game from Modifius, Mazes, the one that was the Dark Tower the Dark Tower RPG was based on. They Came from Beneath the Sea, Call of Cthulhu Keeper's Rulebook, Shield Maidens, Game Master's Guide, Household from Two Little Mice, Night's Black Agents, the Dragonbane Core Set, the Cypher System Rulebook, Root, the role-playing game, G.I. Joe, the role-playing game, Threefold, Modern AGE, Modern Age setting, Under the Hollow Hills, The Witcher, TTRPG, Rifts, Tomorrow's Legion's Player's Guide, Doctor Who, the role-playing game, second edition, Rhapsody of Blood, Be Like a Cat, Slug Blaster, Homeworld, another Modifius title, Homeworld Revelations, the core book, Kobolds Ate My Baby, the Orange Book, Trinity Continuum, core rulebook, basic roleplay, the Universal Game Engine, so BRP's new update to their game engine, Shield Maidens, Training Guide, Outgunned from Two Little Mice, Mutant City Blues, Vaesen, the Nordic horror role-playing game, Tidal Blades, Masks, A New Generation, Power Rangers role-playing game, Five in Infinity, another modern age adventure setting, The King is Dead, Castle Falkenstein, Pine Box Middle School, Doctor Who, the second edition starter set, Goblin Quest, Be Like a Crow, a solo RPG, Neapolitan Trilogy, Dreams and Machines, more Modifius, Sentai and Sensibility, Scion second edition, Book 1 Origin, RuneQuest, the role-playing Ingolorantha, Shield Maiden's original soundtrack, Memento Mori by Two Little Mice, Fear Itself, Symbaroum, the core rulebook by Free League, and The Devil's Dandy Dogs.
That is a haul.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I was really surprised. Yeah. So click that link on the website, and specifically there's kind of in the promotion for this bundle, there's a bounty on this. So we get $5 for every bundle that anybody buys clicking through our link. So please, to help the site, to support the site and what we're doing, if you're interested in this, use our link, and you'll have a ton of RPGs. I mean, that could take care of you for quite a while. There's a lot of stuff that I'd like to try in there.
I hope that works for you, Jeremy, because that link that you put in the thing takes you to kind of the Humble Bundle main page.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
So you will then have to scroll down to the big RPG bundle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me see. Yes. Oh, yes, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
That is quite a haul. I tried to paste it into the YouTube chat, and the full link is too long for the YouTube chat.
Oh, okay. Yes. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's got a lot. It should have that little code in there. Yes.
That's amazing haul, though. Like, and big hitters, man. Cthulhu, RuneQuest.
Mm-hmm.
There's some big hitters in there. Yeah,
all the big publishers are represented, and a lot of like IP stuff they've done. Yeah, and a lot of stuff I'm curious about that I never took the time to buy a PDF or anything. So it's a lot. Yeah, it really is a lot.
Night's Dark Agent, isn't that the Vampire Gumshoe game we were just talking about?
I think you're right.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, so tons of stuff, and a really big variety of systems, from traditional D20 to D100 to dice pool, D6 dice pool stuff. Yeah, lots of stuff in there. But I guess Renegade made an appearance with a few with their G.I. Joe and their Transformers. Got to license those Hasbro IPs. And Power Rangers, that's right. Yeah. But so quite impressive. So that should be that's the link that was generated. So hopefully that will work. But yeah, I think you will have to to scroll down to the exact bundle. It doesn't take you to the page itself, but it should be anything. Yeah, anything on that page will qualify. There's tons of game and book bundles on Humble Bundle, but yeah, that was quite impressive. So I figured we have to mention that because it hasn't happened in a while where something's been that big. I think Bundle of Holding has done some of those where I'm much more enticed. It's like, oh, it's everything for this system that's come out, but this is like a huge tasters selection. But it's not just like quick starts and free PDFs. This is like the full core rules for all of these systems. Yeah. So
yeah, this isn't your RPG day half a game
right
stuff.
Right. Yeah, and things like the Dragonbane starter set, that's everything. Like that's the core book. That's a huge campaign, an 11 adventure campaign. That's everything. So yeah, it's not a starter set. It's the core. Well, cool. All right. Well, that is going to do it for this week. So where can people find you, Matt?
A little bit on Instagram, mostly on Blue Sky. It's at Hargald, HAARGALD. Current game topic is me trying to get information out of Gallant Knight Games about the nature of their license for the D6 system.
Mm-hmm.
They gave me some information and then they just sort of stopped. So I think I'm going to start writing a script for a history of the D6 system video essay, and I'm gonna just send them an email or something, and I'm gonna pull a rascal and send them a bunch of questions, and if they reply, great, I will craft it into the essay.
Nice.
If they don't reply, I will be sure to tell the world that they would not reply, because they're being real cagey about who really owns that now, and what the terms are, and any hope for like an open license in the future kind of thing. Right. But yeah, other than that, I do get super political on there. So if you don't want to hear that, don't go there. How about you?
All right. So I'm due for a July live stream for my single panel gag cartoon. So I draw a cartoon on live stream. Been doing it for 20 years. If you want to read the archive of the cartoon, it's gocomics.com/domestic abuse, and abuse cartoons on YouTube and Twitch if you subscribe to either of those, or even this channel. So the live stream will pop up in this channel as well, and you can watch me draw that cartoon. But if you like what we're doing here with the weekly, consider becoming a weekling. You can do that at patreon.com/upturnedtable, and basically tell us what you want to see, what you want us to discuss on the weekly, and other things that you like. There's various tiers, lore videos, actual plays, all the stuff that we do here at the channel. And if you'd like to get involved, let us know and tell us. Yeah, just feedback is great. And there's a little community chat in the Patreon, but there's also the Discord, and the Discord is much more active with what we're doing and when. So thanks everybody for watching, and we will be back again next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Joe
All right, and we are back. So yeah, quite a week. There were a bunch of random disappointing stories I didn't know what to do with, but we got Matt on the TV.
So much BS. We had to set aside the ridiculous diamond distributor story.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, so yeah, you sent me a link about, so there's a distributor that's just like, yeah, can we just sell this stuff without having paid for it because we're just done with Diamond? Yeah.
That's so messed up, dude. Like, bankruptcy laws are just weird, and like the Embracer thing with, here you go, Asmodee, we're cutting you free with half a billion debt.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and everything will be fine. And now this.
Yeah, it is a mess. Yeah, how a lot of, and I can't imagine trying to run like a comic book store or hobby store nowadays, and what you'd have to go through with a lot of the distributors and the companies, and trying to keep your head above water, and yeah, has to be quite a nightmare. And the companies that you're selling their products, like, undermining you, like, like actively undermining you, opening competing stores, and yeah, it's just crazy.
Hey, you gotta like give me like deets on your Sinister Secrets of Saltmarsh game, because that sounds like fun.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'll let you know. Oh, yeah, I'd really like to. So I'll talk to Rob. I would love to just. I don't know how we're gonna do. We might not be doing audio in Discord. We might be doing audio in Roll20. But if it's possible to record it, I would ask Rob to, if I could just record audio, not for public release, but I'd love to just. It's so nice to have. Now that I think about like the campaigns and stuff I ran for my daughter and her boyfriend, I would love to have the audio of that now, just to go back and remember, the stuff we did, because we did such a goofy version of the Enemy Within, that was really fun. And now I don't remember any of that. All I have is my notes, to remember that, where we could have recorded audio, because it was all on Discord. I like all of your comment type entries.
Yeah, I was trying to promote myself and it failed.
That's funny. Yeah, so Arturo is our number 2. So Calerion remains number 1. Arturo, number 2. That's so funny. Yes.
Yeah, Arturo briefly stole the number 1, but Clarion said, "Hold my beer," and took it back.
Nice. Yeah, Calerion, as far as comments on videos too, I think Calerion is well ahead, like number 1. Yeah, thank you, Calerion, for all the awesome feedback you've given us about actual play sessions and stuff. Yeah, it's really nice to have you on the channel.
My Kickstarter, they just took the shipping charges.
For which one?
Oh man, the Steve Jackson.
The Fighting Fantasy books.
Fighting Fantasy book. Yeah,
nice.
So expect some weird videos of Matt playing Fighting Fantasy, or
nice.
Is it? No, I gotta look it up. I'm bad with names. I'm really bad with names. Like, until I played a game like 50 million times. Fighting Fantasy Solo Adventure. There we go.
Nice.
Yeah, Warlock on Firetop Mountain.
Nice.
I'll probably do that one last, because that's the one I think I actually remember.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Jeremy can get to make his own original character finally, instead of inheriting a henchman. Oh, is that a thing you did?
Oh, Jeremy? Yeah. When I joined the OSR group originally, the pack, the mule, like, pack herder guy, I took him over, and he was instantly killed.
Appropriately.
Yeah, like some was that hobgoblins or something came in with some wild boars, and basically, I was just like standing there with my level 1 abilities, and it was just instantly gored by a wild boar. And so then it took over the much more capable fighter kind of sellsword that they had, their henchman that they had.
Such an old school thing. I remember doing that with AD&D and Warhammer First Edition too. Like, inevitably there'd be someone who was like a hireling or just got adopted by the party, and then someone would die, and they'd be like, "Well, I guess I'll play, Norbert here," you know.
Right. Yes. Yes, that should be fun to get back into it. Yeah, good. So let me just take a look at the chat here. Arturo wants a seasonal battle pass on the channel. And you get, it'll be gold font, definitely.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Miguel mentioned that, the diamond nonsense.
Yeah, it's so messed up.
Nice. Yeah, I think Roll20 does have that advantage that accessibility, like when it's because it's browser based and stuff, it makes it easy. And it was funny, they were doing, like, I think they realized they probably saw the uptick in users during the pandemic when they started doing those commercials. Did you see any of those YouTube or like online commercials for Roll20 during the pandemic, or it's just like a spunky young couple saying, "Hey, wow, do you want to get together with your friends, but you can't meet in real life? Well, try Roll20." And it was all like this peppy music and stuff. It was like completely, going for people way outside the hobby.
I never saw those. That's funny.
Yeah, they were really, really silly. But yeah, they definitely put some money into them because they weren't just like, something shot in the office. They were professional actors and, professional production. But yeah, that's when you knew they're trying to claim as much, share as possible, increase that subscriber base. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, you go first.
Oh yeah, that's just there. The subscriber model sucks. It's way too expensive, for what you get for Roll20.
Really?
Yeah.
What is it like to have all the GM tools? Like, what is that?
I think it's like, let me double check because I don't want to misquote. Maybe it's, I just remember the last time I looked at it, I was like, are you kidding me? Because I keep getting, because I got like a year for $30 or something on their spring sale. So that's why we're using Roll20, because I have I have all the extra storage and everything. And,
Right.
But I think they're, subscribe. So yeah, free give is really limited. It doesn't give you any of the extra stuff. Only 100 megabytes of storage. Oh geez. Okay, no, these are annual prices. Okay, so yeah, I think I got I think it was a $20 for a year. The normal for a year is $50, which works out to about $4 a month. The Pro is $100 a year, which works out to $8 a month. But that breaks down to, if you pay monthly, $6 a month for Plus, which gives you all of their features except access to their mods and scripting library and API. And then $10 a month, so $120 a year. So I thought it was, I think I was looking at the annual. It seemed like a lot. It seemed like way too much. For what you get. But yeah, now that I see, you've got access to all of that scripting and stuff. And what is Demiplane Unlimited? Well, I guess you get subscriber benefits from as if you were a subscriber to Demiplane as well. Oh wow,
That's good.
yeah. So that's why this stuff must have worked so seamlessly for me, because when I went to buy, it said I already owned it, owned content on Roll20, but it didn't show up on Demiplane. But yeah, that's why, is because that subscriber thing must not have gone over. Yeah, so it's $10 a month. I mean, that's, it's not the worst, but if we're not playing everything on Roll20, it's definitely not worth it. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, it's hard for me to judge. I pay $8 a month for alchemy,
yeah,
so
yeah. No, I think I like everything that Alchemy's, that we're able to do with that, even though we do have the little hiccups. And this is a 12-year-old platform, and we still have we still have technical problems, on Roll20. So that's frustrating. It should be a
yeah.
real seamless platform. Yeah. So I didn't want to call it. I thought for sure it was like $30 or something. I thought the high end was like really, really ridiculous. But yeah, and I guess it's come down. It was $10.99. Maybe that's the price that I was like, seriously, $10.99. Yeah, it's come down from $10.99 to try to get people in there.
But yeah, just to follow up on that, Arturo, if you want to run Coriolis, we'll totally let you.
Yeah, yeah.
You just coordinate with us on Discord or something.
Yeah, yeah. That would be great. Yeah. Yeah, we'll make some plans on Discord and find a good time for everybody. That would be cool. Yeah, because I can play early or late. So, early is, early-ish is late your time, and then late is early your time. So whenever, in North American time, so whatever it works. Nice. All right.
Do you ever watch those? There's this guy. I guess he doesn't have the best production value in the world. I don't know, but he's got a YouTube channel. It's called Captain Courageous.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah.
All he does is review old school
Yes.
modules and stuff.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, yeah.
I watch those all the time, just purely for the sentimentality. Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, yeah. No, and he does a good job. He's like of that age, so yeah, he explains things really well, and yeah, gives good context. There was a guy that he's a little too obsessed with the term. Oh shoot, what is it like? Dressing with a brand dressing. He keeps using this term way too much, but there's a guy like it's called like Daddy Rolled a One or something that. Yeah, and
I don't like that guy.
yeah, but he did some interesting. Yeah, he's like got really low subscribers but really high views. So I'm not sure. Like maybe his stuff just gets identified on social media, but yeah, he kind of focuses on some of the wrong things. But I like when he was going through like the different early editions of D&D and stuff. But yeah, that guy bugs you. His
A little bit.
Yeah,
Bit. There's a couple of those guys that I don't know. They're just something about their delivery
yeah.
doesn't work for me. That Dave Thalmavor guy. Even the Knave guy can be real flat sometimes.
Oh yeah. I just saw he just released a video of the Japanese D&D encyclopedia. It's like these are really hard to get, and I'm just like, well, why why do you have them? I guess he's a collector, so he wants to have everything. But that was very funny. The Japanese D&D encyclopedias.
Then there's that other guy. I don't really watch his stuff very much, but I don't have a problem with him or anything. But like Bob the World Builder, he seems like a nice guy. But he just did a video, and I watched it because of what it was. It was about the whole like clickbait D&D video trend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was cool, and like it was 80% cool because he's friends with like Professor Dungeon Master and all those other guys. And so he kind of like I don't know, he like absolved them. He basically said they did this, but they're past it now. And I'm like, well, the fuckers shouldn't have done it in the first place,
But they really needed those 100,000 subscribers, so I give them a pass. Yeah. No, that's the thing that bugs me because there's a couple of those D&D YouTubers that I enjoy, just their delivery and how they discuss things. But then they'll have each other on their channels, and I'm just like, it's just one big fucking mafia, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's very incestuous. They all get together for little dinners at Gen Con.
Right. and they all get their deluxe Daggerheart box set with a scented candle. That's when I was when I was going through before our discussion. I just wanted to see what people were saying about Daggerheart. And the funny thing is, so many of them are like, "I'm not going to play this, so I'm giving this away to my subscribers." So basically, all those YouTubers just use that free Daggerheart set that they got to then make it a premium. So yeah, sign up for my newsletter and I'll select one of the subscribers to win the. It's like, oh, screw you. Yeah, that's shitty.
Ironically, Captain Courageous did a review of Daggerheart, and I was like, okay, here we go. He's like an old school guy. He's gonna roast him. He liked it. And I was like, okay, all right, fair enough. I'm a little shook right now, but okay.
That's really funny. Yeah, I'm gonna wait until I can get it for just a few bucks, but I want to get my hands on that new starter set that 5e, I guess the revision 5e put out, because it is so strange, like the baby's first RPG. Like they don't even refer to things as D20 or D6s. It's just like a little icon. It's like the thing that looks like this, pick that up.
Oh dear.
And I'm really really curious how that's actually presented, because it's really like you can be pretty low functioning and play Dungeons and Dragons with this starter set.
Speaking of which, silly D&D stuff. You know that? What's that guy? He was in the Scooby-Doo movie, and now he's like
Matthew Lillard. Yeah,
he has that ridiculous high-end D&D crap store.
Right.
One of the guys in our gaming group bought a dice spinner for another guy in our game group's birthday for him. And it's like super impressive because it's super heavy, you know, and they made it so the spinning part floats inside real nice, you know. It does seem like a pretty high-end product, but then you put it down, you spin it, and it's like one of the other guys in the group who tends to be a little bit of a hothead. He's like, if you use this in a real D&D game, I would leave because it's taking so damn long. Like it spins forever. So it's a lot of borderline useless stuff.
Right. Yeah, and just like super overproduced stuff. Like when they were doing the box sets of everything, there would be that like gorgeous, you know, wooden version from Beetle and Grimm.
Yeah.
I wonder how the licensing worked out, because they are so many people that are producing third-party stuff for D&D, and I even saw this as becoming a thing with actual plays. There was a group that wanted to say, yeah, we're playing Dungeons and Dragons on our actual play, and you're not allowed to do that. They actually, like Watsy said, don't refer to it as Dungeons and Dragons. That's our brand. We don't want you to, want any brand confusion, people thinking you're official, you have some connection to us. So people have been told, and we see that pretty regularly, that, 5e is just what everybody uses.
You can't say we are playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, the guy, and I don't understand. I think it was the guy was doing it very professionally, so he was like sourcing like ads. He was sourcing advertisers and stuff, and he literally went to Watsy and said, we're doing this. Is this okay? And they said, no, don't call it don't call it D&D. You can do it, but don't call it D&D. We can't stop you from doing it, but if you call it Dungeons and Dragons, we will have you have it taken down. So that's still going on, like, current day. They're still very sensitive about that. So, anyhow, so what I was saying is I wonder how that licensing then worked out for all that Beetle and Grimm stuff, because they are reproducing some of that, like, artwork and stuff that high-end artwork and things that were used, on their wooden boxes and stuff. So I wonder what kind of deal had to be
that's
made.
Part of why they charge so much. Wizards a big cut.
That's true. Yeah, we'd like to make $200 on this, so we'll sell it for $500 so we can split it with Watsy. Yeah, that's very, very true.
Robert suggested I revive Gamma World.
Oh, there you go.
Oh man, I don't know. Probably have to do like 3rd edition. 1st edition is virtually incomprehensible. And after third edition, it was like a laboratory rat. They just, let's try this, let's try this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the last edition, was it like seventh or something, is when they got into like booster packs of cards and
right. Like,
shit.
yeah, like blind packs of cards.
Yeah, so dumb. No, I would rather play Fantasy Games Unlimited, the people that did, Bushido and all those. What's the one you have that we were talking about playing?
Oh, Cyworld, yeah.
Cyworld, yeah. They had one called Aftermath,
Mm-hmm.
and a buddy of mine had it back in the day, and my most vivid memory of it is on the character sheet. There's a little, a drawing of a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a hit location idea, but it's sectioned off like cuts of meat.
Nice.
Because post-apocalypse.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Oh yeah, Miguel say probably a lot of AI in the new Giantlands anyhow. Yeah, that's right. Because new TSR, that was the thing that sucks so much is they claimed like they had actually reached out, but there wasn't any contracts or anything between any of the artists, the original TSR artists and stuff, to work on any of this new stuff. But they put their names on everything, all the promotion work and everything. Had Jeff D and everybody that they had reached out to on there. And then when things went real sideways, everybody said, "I have no affiliation. They just emailed me. I have no idea what's going on." They had to step back.
It would be fun. I don't know how many you could get, but it might be fun, especially because you're an artist. If you could set up interviews with some of those classic D&D artists.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We should. Yeah, I should try to do that. That would be.
Errol Otis is pretty active on social and stuff. And if Jeff D's alive, man, I loved his stuff.
And I know Steve Crumpton from Tunnels and Trolls from Comic-Con. So I should get in touch with him, and he might be able to hook us up with a lot of the Tunnels and Trolls artists, everyone that's still kicking. Yeah, that'd be a nice feature. Yeah, I'd love to do that. That might be a good just be a good way to remind people of the contributions and stuff, and maybe artists that didn't even realize were part of their favorite games.
And then you could get their hot takes on AI.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Yeah. Nice. Cool. Yeah. It's funny. The topics this week were all pretty depressing.
Well, you finished big. You finished.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we got
that awesome Humble Bundle.
Yeah.
Oh, so let me tell you a little bit about. So, I think I'm going to get stonewalled by Gallant Knight, right? So I was thinking, well, screw it. You can't copyright mechanics. So as long as I write up a system book that doesn't use their verbiage and their terms, unless those terms are just so blatantly common, you shouldn't have to worry about them. And then I tweak some things. I would probably tweak some things. So, like, I don't know if you remember, like, the D6 system, but, like, when you're making your character, you distribute these D6s amongst your attributes, right? But you can break up the D6s, and a D6 can be turned into 3 pips, right? Each pip is like a plus. Each pip is like a +1. So I was thinking, well, you could just change that to, like, 2 D3s or something, and then they use regular like movement rates and ranges and things. It's like just change that to zones. Like a lot of people prefer zones anyway, and it does make for a quicker experience, So just fine tune a few little things and just freaking, I'll type it up and I'll be here, Jeremy. I'll go 50-50 with you if you make this look pretty.
Nice. All right, let's do this. Yeah, that'd be really fun.
We could call it like a tribute to D6 games or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah. I would love to have a fun Western game. We got to have a good quick draw mechanic and yeah, stuff like that. Did you look at the quick draw mechanic that Outgunned came up with? I think we talked about it. We may have talked about it.
I did,
Yeah.
but that was so long ago that I read that I need to go back and read it again.
Yeah, they did like like you allocate, like you generate a number of dice based on like adding a bunch of stats, and then you allocate those dice to the three phases of the. They break the shootout, the quick draw into three phases. So like the kind of the stare down and the assessment and then the draw. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I had a similar idea. I was actually talking to Clarion on our Discord about it a while back. I wanted to have like the initial phase, which you call it stare down or whatever. I was thinking of it as like sort of a like coolness under pressure kind of phase, and that would be based on one attribute. And then there would be the quick draw, which would be based on a different attribute. And then there would be the actual targeting and hitting somebody, which would be based on another attribute. So it'd be like this 3-step process. I haven't quite worked it all out yet, but then I was also thinking like the shootout, is sort of such a classic thing. I thought it'd be kind of cool if like once you're in a shootout, it's like you have a narrative bubble around you, and someone would have to actually spend, because there's a meta currency in the game. It's called character points, which I would have to change the name of that too. But I was like, you would have to spend a certain amount of those to interrupt the shootout, basically, like because it's this almost supernatural thing that's taking place,
Right.
But I've been
cool.
thinking about that. I want to think about like I would like to have some cool like roughing it in the wild rules, but not crazy. I don't want to create a subsystem for that part of the game, But yeah,
That's cool. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. That would be a lot of fun. And just do a lot of artwork, so we would have lots of NPCs and lots of stuff that we could use to actually run it, and then just include that as materials for the game. Very cool. Nice. Yeah, if we ever want to resurrect our Daggerheart characters, I'm trying to think of I keep thinking of a system that would be fun to play them again. And I think Monsters might be the most fun, because it'll have the ability to put just any creature into it. Yeah. Get weird with it, but nice. Yeah. So going back, so that'll be in about a week. That Sunday after next. So if Japan survives tomorrow, if we're still here tomorrow after the mega quake, we will we'll be able to. I'll report back on AD&D, and we'll flip through some Mythic Bastion land.
Give us a Western hex grid survival game, and no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I do want to have guidelines for when you're out in the wilderness, but I don't want to do a hex crawl for a spaghetti Western, because like that wasn't really part of those things. Like
Right.
There's literally just in the good, the bad, and the ugly, the part where he abandons Tuco in the desert, and that's as close to that as you get. But Tuco knew where to go, so it's not even really a hex crawl.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and anything like that would probably be like a like a caravan, like a wagon train, or like a stagecoach or something. Yeah, that
or like forming a posse to go find it. Somebody,
right. Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. You could do the what's the Unforgiven? Yeah, you could do the simulate the Unforgiven. Go out and revenge the call girls. Nice.
or simulate Bone Tomahawk.
Oh,
Okay, this is gonna be a real quick game.
yes. Yeah, Bone Tomahawk. Yeah, but I think that's good to kind of restrict the scope to like what happens in spaghetti westerns, because it is like very location based, and a lot of shootouts and all. I think that's
Yeah, so I thought what I would do is kind of Forbidden Land style, or not even really Forbidden Land style, but more like actually like the mythic Bastion Land, and you'll see when we go through it. You just have these one pagers of guidelines for this classic trope type of adventure and this classic trope type of adventure. Not an actual flushed out adventure, just like discussing the tropes and things you should see or expect the characters to encounter, stuff like that.
Cool. Nice. Arturo says, "Make an Oregon Trail video game mechanic, you coward."
That'll be a supplement.
Yes. Nice.
Work in a mechanic where none of the characters have a name. Well, there is. So I have you. When you make a character, you choose a background, which is these classic sort of, I guess, professions that you would see in one of these movies. But you also pick a trope, and the trope sort of more defines your personality. And one of them is the stranger.
Cool. Yeah, I can't wait. It'll be fun. Yeah, and if as I really want to figure out a way to, I guess there's been games recently that have kind of covered it, but I'd really love something that would run a Parker novel, like someone that would run a heist, like a '60s heist.
Oh
yeah, kind of Parker novel.
That's another thing. Remember, we found that Fiasco website?
Oh yeah,
where you can run a Fiasco game on the website for free.
Yes.
Like that's something we can do when Artur and Abyss are around with us too.
That's true. Be fun. Yeah. I couldn't believe that all of that content was there. Just click generate how many players and generate the all the
so many different genres. That was cool.
Yeah. Once they switched to the card-based stuff, I think when they crowdfunded that card-based thing, they just had so many packs of cards that were, every kind of imaginable kind of B movie or kind of, any kind of anything you could think of. All the tropes. Nice. Well, cool. Well, yeah, so we will be back. We'll be back soon with, Mythic Bastion Land. And, yeah, we should keep that in mind. A quick Fiasco throw together, because visually the website looks so great. Like we could just put that up as our visual for the stream. Put
that screen up. Yeah, I'll try to be responsible and read all the rules again. And
cool. Yeah. Refresh. Sounds good. All right. So thanks, Matt. I appreciate you hanging in with me for the weekly, and I'm not sure. We'll see what'll happen next week. These meetings seem to come in phases, so I'm not sure what Chris's schedule is going to be like. And I think we've got some random holidays coming up too. So yeah, none of that's ever good. All right, but and thanks to everybody, all the patrons and members to the channel, and the join button below the video if you're watching. Become a member on the YouTubes and Patreon. You're automatically added to the Discord, which is a fun place to be. now that Abyss and Arturo and Calarion are there. Very fun.
Well, to quote Chris, who finally arrived on the Discord.
Oh yeah.
Wow, chat is banging. And then she was quiet for like 3 days.
Nice. All right. But so take care, everybody. And we'll be back again next week with the weekly. And see you tomorrow for some epic Bastion Land and Into the Odd and electric Bastion Land too. So see you then. Goodbye.